Hello, everybody. Welcome to another reaction time. Hashtag reaction time. Excuse me, everybody. We're trending on the Twitter sphere. Get that trending. Are we trending, Dean?
No,
We've never
we're
trended.
not.
Of course, before I don't introduce him, I'm joined once again by Dean the Beast NJ. How are you once again, sir?
Hey, I'm pretty
Eh,
good. How are you doing?
I'm really good. My name is Grog, and I'm like really good. Like, it's crazy. Of
Grog is
course,
always calling God. Grog is like middle name's good. It's called like Grog, good, Greg, Grog.
whenever Dean and I talk, I apologize, everybody. I can't breathe because he makes me laugh so hard. But yeah, once again, I'm Greg. I'm joined by Dean, and this is reaction time where we discuss all your favorite shows. Of course, when it's me and Dean, of course, I said of course 27 times in that last
That's
thing.
okay. Of
We're
course you
going.
did.
Of course. When you see me and Dean, it means that you will be hearing about the best in superhero television. Today we shall be discussing Arrow Season 3, Episode 17, titled Suicidal Tendencies. Wicka wicka what? Name dropping a little Easter egg in there for you. Maybe this episode was about the Suicide Squad. Oh, what? But it's not technically the Suicide Squad. Not like the one
Yeah,
that we
it
know.
wasn't like the full Suicide Squad.
Yeah, so I say we take this. I wrote down notes this episode like I normally do. I do like notes for a thing. It goes to commercial break, then I start a new tab, start another page for that. But we're just going to take it storyline by storyline. So we'll do the Suicide Squad one as a whole storyline, and then we'll do the other side plot that they had this episode. That way we're not like
Okay.
jumping back and forth. So let us start with the wedding, since that was the first thing. Diggle is getting hitched to Lila once again. Of course, they already have a baby. They were divorced previously, and then they never got remarried again. So this is just them sealing the knot one more time, and they were never out of love. They just I don't even know why they got divorced. They never really explained it. It was just work and weird
Yeah,
stuff
I'm
that
not
happened.
really sure myself either.
But we see Ray Palmer, who in weird circumstances is with Felicity. He comes to the wedding, and they lose their minister, their officiant, to marry them. So Ray's like, "Why don't I do it? You guys love me." And I'm like, "What? Like, how is this happening?" Um, and he marries them in a very awkward fashion. He's like, "Hi, everybody. I'm Ray. I don't know them." That was comical. I like seeing that. And my favorite part about this specific opening was all of the interactions between the characters. I loved Laurel and Felicity. They kind of come over, and Laurel says to Felicity, like, "Oh, nice dress," and she's like, "Yeah, you too." She's like, "Nice cast," and I'm like, "Oh, they're friends. I love it." And then there was Thea and Roy, who, if we don't remember last episode, shared a kiss, so they're back together. They had their little nice dancing moment and sitting next to each other at the wedding. And then lastly, Diggle and Ray. This was my favorite interaction. He's kind of like, she's like, "Oh, everybody, this is Ray. Like, I'm dating him now." Diggle shakes his hand and he's like, "If you hurt her, I murder you and all of your unborn children." And then he's like, "Nice to meet you, man. Love you so much. How'd you feel about the wedding?"
It was okay. It was a really small part. It's funny. It was funny to see them all interacting outside of their normal environments with each other, though, in like a social situation.
Yeah,
I like that.
I always feel like they're so intense and always in masks. Like to
Yeah,
see them
for
like
sure.
dressed up and not like having arrows shot at them. Like this, it was very cool to see that.
Yeah.
What something we always commend the Flash for doing with their characters. So it's nice to see the Arrow group get their own interactions. Lila and Diggle get confronted by Deadshot, and this is what we'll split off. We'll do the Suicide Squad one first. They get confronted by Deadshot on their way. I guess they're on their way to the honeymoon or leaving the wedding. I don't really know, but they get in a limo. Deadshot's there. Floyd Lawton, as his real name is. Amanda Waller brings them in, and Diggle decides to go with Lila on their Suicide Squad mission. The team is made up this time around of Lila, Diggle, Cupid, who was back from Valentine's Day episode, which I kind of liked her character. I'm glad they brought her back in, and Deadshot himself. So they go to rescue the senator who's been kidnapped, United States Senator, in, I'm forgetting what it is, Bosnia? Or like something weird like that.
I can't remember.
Yeah, it's like some weird, or Kaznia? Kaznia sounds right. I feel like it's Kaznia. Or that might be where Borat's from. I'm not sure, everybody. Hashtag
No,
reaction
Borat's
time.
from Kazakhstan.
Oh, okay. Well, everybody, spoilers for Borat. Didn't think we'd get there. So Deadshot talks about how love is a bullet in the brain. And this episode, notably, is the first episode we don't have flashbacks of Oliver. We get flashbacks of Floyd Lawton and his character, how he kind of becomes Deadshot. And it was
Which I
really,
liked a lot.
really good. Yeah. So I was just going to ask you, yeah, did you like seeing somebody different in the flashbacks for once?
Yeah, I thought by now they would maybe like have Oliver's story up to date in the
Yeah.
flashbacks, which we've kind of discussed before. So yeah, totally. I'm totally up for seeing other people's like how they origins, so to speak. So I hope that's something they replicate because I actually really like that. I thought it was a really cool idea.
Yeah, I loved it so much too, and especially because there's so many other members of the Suicide Squad. So like maybe we get flashbacks to how the villains became villains. Something we talked about how Gotham should do with their villains, and kind of give them the backstory because they always had cool concepts and ideas for their characters, but never fully fleshed them out.
Hmm.
And through the flashbacks, I'll just go through all the flashback scenes, not in any particular. Well, we'll go in order here. He, as we all know, is part of the military. He comes home, surprises his wife, and his daughter, who is now all grown up, is kind of terrified of him and doesn't really remember him. And it's really sad moment where he's like, "Hi, sweetie, how are you?" And she's like, "Who are you? Like what?" And I wanted to cry for him. Did you feel so bad?
Not really, because I know I know who he becomes, and it's kind of hard for me to feel anything for him anymore. But just the character in general, seeing him fight Arrow, seeing him fight Batman in previous iterations,
Yeah.
like he's such a scumbag, and like I don't know, I can't. It's hard for me to separate that
Yeah.
now.
Yeah. Well, I guess I could see that point of it, but I don't know. I just love that little girl. She was such a little precious little baby.
She was a cute little girl, yeah.
But then he screams at her when he makes her a bologna sandwich, and he like doesn't cut off the crust so she won't eat it. So he's like, "Oh, do I not now make it how mommy makes it?" And like throws it. He's like drunk at this point, drinking beers and screaming at this little girl in the face. The wife comes in and she's kind of like, "Hi, honey, like what's going on? I love you so much." And he grabs her by the face hole, pulls a gun out, and he's like, "Listen, bitch, like." This is how shit's gonna go down from now on. Of course, she calls the police. He goes to prison, and this woman from the organization, the Hive, which might be hinting at another DC thing.
Yeah, it is. The
Yeah,
Hive. The Hive is like an enemy correlation within the DC universe.
they're very much so associated with, or at least I grew up with them through the animated cartoon on Cartoon Network, the Teen Titans. The Hive was like such a big enemy group for them. So I don't know if they were
Yeah.
always associated with the Teen Titans, or if like maybe, do you know at all?
I don't know about the Teen Titans. I know from playing DC Universe online,
Okay,
the Hive is like a whole, like I don't
faction.
know. They're like comparable to Hydra. They're just like a whole big enemy like group, you
Okay.
know.
Yeah, that was cool to also throw in another Easter egg in there. A lot of plot points that these have in the show. I still want to see Harley Quinn on the show, which we know she's in that universe because she was giggling behind a door in the Suicide Squad
Hmm.
chambers a while back. Um, and so yeah, so then he ends up taking the job, and that's how he becomes Deadshot. And starts getting these contracts, blah blah blah. I thought that was nice. How did you feel about the revelation? Like you said, we kind of know the character, but to see him come to fruition as
Yeah,
Deadshot.
it was cool. It was interesting. Like I said, I was pro seeing someone else's origins other than Oliver's. So yeah, I like that a lot.
Mm-hmm.
It was cool.
Through the Suicide Squad now to get back to the U.S. Senator, the present day storyline. They go in to save him. Cupid and Deadshot kind of have these like weird interactions because the theme of this episode is love, as we can tell. And Cupid is back. She's still obsessed with Oliver to the point where she's talking about marrying him. And all of the other three characters in the group, they're all kind of like, "Does Oliver know like that you guys are getting married?" And she's like, "Well, not yet, but like he will. I love him, Oliver." And I'm like, "What is wrong with this girl?" She then kind of falls in love with Floyd Lawton throughout this episode. And in all these
Yeah.
awkward interactions that I was actually chuckling at, I was surprised I was laughing at Arrow. I rarely do. And he was like, at one point, she grabs his shoulder and she's like, "Oh, honey," when he gets shot by the U.S. Senator because things go awry. And she grabs him and she's like, "Honey, are you all right? You were so hot in there." And he's like, "Well, I'd rather be dead at this point," or something like that. I'm like, "Yes."
Yeah. She was always kind of insane
Yeah.
from the minute we saw her before she was Huntress. So I like seeing her again though. She was a lot of fun to see fleshed out on screen.
Yeah, and she kind of reminds me of like a Harley Quinn-esque character that becomes like obsessed with this person and like
Yeah,
their
I don't
psychotic
know
passion.
to what effect. Like I don't know like how much of that is played up. I don't think she's quite like that in the comics. I think it's escalated a little bit.
Yeah.
But either way, I like it.
Yeah, I like the Suicide Squad that went on in this mission. So the Senator goes away. He shoots Floyd Lawton. They go to patch him up. Then we kind of deal with the drama of John Diggle, who is the Diggle we know, and his brother Andrew, who that was how Deadshot and Diggle come to hate each other. He assassinates him. That's also the first contract he gets, as we see in the flashback. They end up
Hmm.
patching him up. They end up escaping. They get out all the hostages. They take down the U.S. Senator as a unit there. Up until this point, they're working together as a really good team. They have this one little breakdown moment, and then Deadshot kind of rallies them together, and he's like, "I'm getting you guys back to your daughter," without telling them that he's gonna have to sacrifice himself in order to get them home. The building blows up, and we don't see what happens to Deadshot. Do we think he's dead, Dean?
No, I don't think he's dead.
Okay, I agree with you. Why don't you think this? I feel like he's just an important character.
Yeah, he's just an important character. He's a staple in the DC universe. I don't think he's going to be dead. At least not in 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 that way, dealing with kind of like secondary characters. I don't think he'll go out that way.
Yeah, I agree. All right, so now that was that storyline. We'll unpack that on a later time, probably next episode if they ever get to that. Um, Now to jump back to present day stuff, back in Central City, or is it Starling City? Which city are we in?
Starling City.
Starling City. I'm like, I'm in CW. I don't know. So we get some nice glimpses at the Atom suit this episode, which I was so on board with. I love seeing it in action. I heard a sigh of not excitement.
Well, go ahead. Go ahead. Keep going.
Okay, we just get to see he goes to take down, or he's going after the Arrow. They want to apprehend him at this point. Everybody, if you don't remember, Ra's al Ghul took over the Green Hood with the League of Assassins. They're killing people now, making Oliver look like he's killing again. He's not. Arrow goes to investigate. Ray Palmer comes up in the Atom suit, uses facial recognition, finds out that it's Oliver Queen, and that's when shit hits the fan between all the characters. They end up coming to the showdown, which I have a few funny parts to note here. They have the showdown, and Arrow tells Felicity to tell Roy to meet him there. So you have Arsenal, Arrow versus the Atom. I'm thinking this is going to be an awesome fight scene. It ends in like 2 seconds. The Atom kind of blasts Roy aside with electrocution, and like Roy's passed out on the ground. Nobody knows where Roy is. And then he looks like he's going to beat the crap out of Oliver and take him in until Oliver, all he does is throw one arrowhead at the one part of the suit, and it breaks the whole suit down, and then he's just Ray Palmer. How did you feel about the fight scene?
I think it was like an EMP.
Oh, maybe that, and then it like electrocute. Oh, okay, that makes sense.
Yeah. I was expecting it. I don't know. First of all, I like the Atom suit a lot.
Yeah.
When he's standing still, he looks cool.
Yeah.
As far as like his abilities and the way he moves, they're trying so hard to make this a low budget Iron Man.
Yeah.
And he's not Iron Man. I don't like it.
Yeah.
Don't try to be Iron Man. Let's face the facts. Iron Man is far cooler than the Atom, right? We can all agree.
Yeah.
Iron Man is cooler than the Atom,
Yeah.
for sure,
Okay.
1000%.
Okay.
So
I feel like you're
just
forcing
let
us
him
to believe.
You believe it. You believe it.
Oh my god.
He's like, it's definitely like a low budget Iron Man, and like I don't know, I don't know. But as far as the way the suit looks, it's cool. As far as the fight between him and Oliver, I saw a comment like,
Yeah.
you don't start out your rookie year like pitching against, like Babe Ruth. Like,
Yeah, true. Very
like what he
true.
thought he was just gonna show up and like whoop his ass. Like
Yeah.
Oliver's been doing this for like years and years. This dude's died and come back to life. Like,
Literally. Yeah.
that's not gonna happen, dude.
Yeah.
So I was pretty much expecting that fight to go down the way it did.
My one problem with this scene was after, because this whole kind of fight is an underlying tone throughout this whole thing, is Felicity's with Ray. She kind of still has feelings for Oliver, but she says she doesn't, so they're kind of like having this love triangle going on. At the end, when he throws the EMP arrowhead, I guess we'll call it, and shuts down the Atom suit, he's like, trust Felicity, she's telling the truth. I really didn't kill those people, and she really, really loves you, so go be with her. He ends up ultimately believing her, and now he's kind of on the Arrow team, I guess you could call it, defending Arrow and stuff. The one part about the scene, Arrow walks away, and Roy is like knocked unconscious somewhere after being hit with electrocution. I just don't, and you don't see him like the rest of the episode. Like, like where's Roy? I hate when they leave plot points like that. Like I noticed.
He'll be back. It's definitely no oversight, but he'll be back.
Yeah, I think he's not like dead or
something.
anything. Yeah, but it just those stuff like that pisses me off. I'm like, you're just gonna leave him there on the ground? Like someone's gonna wake him up in the morning and be like, you're Arsenal. He's gonna be like, hi, how are you? Good. That's me if I get woken up as Arsenal, not Roy.
Yeah.
Hi, how are you, Greg Berger? God bless. Truth. Now we have Lila and the gang. Oh my God! Special guest appearance!
She can't hear you though.
Are we so excited?
She walked away. She's
Oh,
already
man.
gone.
Hashtag reaction time. Greg's reacting to seeing Jen. All right, so now we get back to some other stuff. The Felicity undertone kind of happens. Ray pieces together that all of this stuff is going on. He pieces together that Laurel's Black Canary. Pieces together that Roy is Arsenal. None of these secret identities are very hidden, if I must say. If Roy was able to piece, or Ray rather, was able to piece everything together like that. So how did you feel about him kind of finding out about everybody? Are you with him with being in the group, or?
Yeah, I mean, I kind of assumed that's the way it was going to go from the beginning because he is eventually part of the Justice League. I didn't think it would happen quite that fast.
I agree.
It seemed like a little bit rushed. The whole thing seemed a little bit rushed. He was like, it was kind of like one episode, like oh, I'm working on the suit. And the next episode, he's like, got it, figured it out, I'm using it. And then by the next episode, they're like, sweet, oh, you can come
Yeah,
fight with us now.
exactly,
Okay,
literally. Yeah, that's the only thing that pissed me off about it. But I guess I rather would have seen this rather than have it like be a 4-episode arc like Thea reviving her soul or whatever.
yeah, that's true.
Notably from the last episode, we don't get to see in the flashbacks Shadow's alive, so that's still a plot thread that we don't know. I guess Thea's kind of okay now, but hopefully they'll hit that again. Where is Malcolm in all of this? Do you have any thoughts on any of these situations?
I wasn't even thinking about them
Yeah,
watching the episode,
yeah,
honestly.
yeah.
Didn't even think about it, not one time, not any of them.
Oh my god, well, that took a
I
turn.
just, not even on purpose, I just forgot that happened.
Yeah, and we also see Laurel, nice to note, one of the side characters, Nissa Al Ghul, is teaching her how to fight and stuff. She kind of mentions her a little bit when when Oliver kind of asks her, oh, why do you have the cast? And she's like, well, I have this new trainer, she's a female, and she likes to go a little hard, if you know what I mean. I'm like, I don't know what that means. I'm kind of freaked out. I feel like they're going to become lesbian hour lovers, which I'm okay with. And then we also have, at the end of the episode, just to tie everything up in a nice little bow, Lila states that she's going to resign after Argus kind of covers up the whole situation that happens with the U.S. Senator, and kind of lets Floyd Lawton die still a villain, which is kind of sad to see. But she quits, and now she's going to be a stay-at-home mom while Diggle gets to cheers Oliver. They say something in Russian. It's like, and they like cheers.
That's what he always says, what he learned from the Russians whenever they're vodka.
Yeah. What is it? Is that the phrase? Do you know the phrase?
I don't know the phrase. Like I don't know how to say it.
Oh.
But I remember from the first season when he was like
Undercover, yeah.
yeah, with the Russians, they
Yeah.
always used to say that, and then he says that him and Diggle always say that to each other.
Yeah, keeping those plot threads is always something good. And now we see Ray goes to talk. This is how the episode ends. This is the craziest part of the whole episode. Ray goes to talk to the mayor, kind of trying to convince now that he's on board with the Arrow team. Kind of like, we shouldn't go after the Arrow after all. I was a little like hasty in making that decision. Until the mayor gets shot with a green arrow through the window in her heart. She's dead. Bye, mayor. Mayor's dead. Then, right after, as if they couldn't pull out any more punches, Felicity's standing in a clearly open window, and Maceo from the flashbacks is the archer. Not only did he just kill the mayor, but then all we hear is the bow and arrow shoot. And then the episode goes to black. So is Felicity gonna get shot? I'm freaking out. I don't even want to.
No, I don't think. I think that was just in post. I think they put that sound effect in to do what is happening to you right now.
I'm freaking out. I'm like, not Felicity. I was freaking the hell out because then you see her and she's just kind of like not moving towards the mayor. I love how nobody reacts to it at all. Like the mayor gets shot in the chest, falls in the chair, and they're all just kind of like, "Oh my god, like that sucks."
Yeah.
Like, now what? Do we think this was my theory on this? Is that Captain Lance kind of becomes the new mayor? Is that possible?
I didn't think about it. Yeah, I'm sure it's possible. Yeah, I didn't think of it happening, but yeah, why not?
And he's still
that'd be interesting.
I would like to see him as the mayor because now he can combat Arrow with like more manpower and stuff. That's how I pictured it in my head. Nice to note still that he's still very angry with Laurel and the Arrow. He's still very keen on going and apprehending the Arrow.
Yeah.
We also see what was the other thing I wanted to note here? Oh, the hostages got saved. We said that. The Atom suit, that was a thing. Yeah, no, so that was basically the end of the episode. Did you
That was the very end.
Yeah,
was the Felicity thing.
Yeah, it was and then it goes to black, and then I cried. Now, did you like the dual plot line here? I like not having the villain of the week necessarily, but I like seeing the Suicide Squad.
I was glad that they didn't do the whole villain of the week thing.
Yeah.
I mean, it seems like they always kind of do the dual plotline thing, which is was good that they didn't like retread on anything that they have been for the last 3 seasons.
Yeah,
but
true.
At the same time, I can't recall them ever like just going straight through like the whole hour with like one plotline. I would kind of like to see like maybe a bigger event, like even in the Flash vs. Arrow, they still had like the flashbacks.
Yeah.
Like just let it be Flash vs. Arrow. You know what I mean?
Yeah. I agree.
So that would be kind of nice, but overall, I liked the episode a lot. I thought it was one of the better ones this season.
Yeah, I agree with you, and we both agree, I think, that this was the first time in a long time that Arrow has been on top of the Flash, which is very odd for me. That never happens. But yeah, I'd like to see Arrow come back and, not come back, but they're one episode ahead of the Flash, too, I'd like to note. So I don't know if this season's going to end before the Flash does, if they're going to have another crossover. They keep stating that...
It does. It ends before the Flash. Eventually, they will have another crossover. I don't think this season.
Okay. Because I know there were little murmurs.
For the Flash.
Okay. There were little murmurs that Adam and Felicity go to Central City to help the Flash out with something, but we haven't seen that yet. Not that I witnessed. So maybe
it could be. I don't know.
Season. But yeah, we'll keep stay tuned for both The Flash and Arrow. We'll keep updating you guys with all of that. That was our thoughts on the episode of The Arrow, Season 3, Episode 17, Suicidal Tendencies. If you'd like, you can comment and share your thoughts in the comments below with us, and see all of our other reaction times at youtube.com/TheLevelUpShow, level spelled LVL, of course, to help us improve our shows and make nice, beautiful banners like this. #reaction time. Have me and Dean be always beautiful. Have my singing voice improve. You can donate to us at patreon.com/TheLevelUp Network, spelled exactly as it sounds. Dean and I are going to point down where I'm going to put the bar.
Am I doing it right?
Well, your fingers
Nope,
aren't in the
you
screen.
didn't see my hands.
I don't know.
It's hard. It's hard because the square's blocking me. I got it. There it is. Nailed
Okay,
it.
Dean kind of pointed to it, but the bar will be right there, so you can click that link and go right there and make it easy for you. Donate anything from $1 all the way to $1 billion. Dean is reaching into my screen, everybody. So
that would be cool. I was kind of hoping that would happen somehow.
As I put my arm like through the thing, I'm just like, oh my god. That was a flash call back to Greg's superpower. We love you all so much.